little red button? Yeah, push the little red button.
Good evening. Welcome to the Netpicks podcast, episode 3, special Halloween edition. They call me Count Captain. They don't really, they just call me the Captain. And the stew to my Billy Loomis is, of course, the podcast machine, Mike Larkin. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. About to talk some Halloween. Now, for me,
Yes.
Halloween as a kid consisted of a lot of Disney Channel original movies and, of course, your main Halloween films as well. So I look forward to analyzing, dissecting, and deciphering this.
Did you get the reference that I just said there? Stu and Billy Loomis?
I believe I do. Billy Loomis. Isn't that friggin'... Okay. Isn't that the dude who was in Scream, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. That's. I was about to say, wait a minute.
Stu, of course, was the other killer, played brilliantly by Matthew
Wait a
Lillard.
minute. Wasn't that in Scary Movie 2, the dude that played the dude that was the retard, right?
Oh yeah, I think it was well, obviously, Scary Movie kind of blended all these movies together. I think it was Doofy playing the second killer.
First and foremost, people, that was not to be insulted. Excuse me. Mentally challenged, mental retardation. I did not. That's what I meant by that, because I know some people will take that a certain way, and that's not what I meant. But he played a retarded character, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Don't think of that way. So that's what I meant by that. Just to apologize, so people don't think we're being insensitive on this show.
His name is literally Doofus.
Yes. So people, his name is Doofus. So hello. Put
Smell
it
my
together.
fingers.
Yes.
Man.
But yes. Excuse me, but yes, I do. I'm aware of Billy Loomis and Scream, because I'll be honest with you. I've seen a lot of Screams, and we have it on VHS. Yes, kids, VHS. It's still, I cannot believe they're coming out with another one, I think, next year or the year after, because Britt and I were talking about this. Yeah, Britt and I were talking about this.
Oh, yeah, they announced it recently. I mean, they've been talking about it for years. I loved the fourth one. I thought it was a great, well, it wasn't a reboot, it was a sequel.
Yes.
Yeah, Emma Roberts, fantastic as the new bitch.
Yes. No, see, that's why I enjoyed that too, because Emma Roberts from her days on Unfabulous on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's one of those things where you have another Scream coming out, and Brittany loves that, so we got to talking about it. I mean, for me, it's one of the things when you have another Scream coming out, and I believe there's another Halloween coming out around that time.
Yes.
Like, those are like some of the cult classics with horror movies, and when you think of Halloween in particular, because hello, Halloween. But I also look at it like this. I don't know if it's like that type of movie, but around Halloween this year, they're coming out with another Final Destination.
Yeah.
I mean, it ended with the bridge, and now we're going wherever the hell we're going now.
2 sequels ago, it was The Final Destination.
Yes, it was. But now we're coming back with more. Yeah. See, what's interesting, too, is, like, around Halloween is when the Paranormal Activity movies started, and I think, what are there, like 5 or 6 of those, too?
Yeah.
Ugh. I was done. Yeah, I was done by 3. And then I've seen much all of them, but
when
yeah.
When did the first one come out? I think it was, like, 2009, 2010.
Yeah, around that time.
And I was pretty naive, and I thought it was like actual found footage, so I was like on edge about this like supernatural haunting. And then obviously when somebody gets killed, you realize it's actually a movie and not real. The first one was pretty nerve shredding, really.
Yeah, the first one came out in 2007, which I cannot believe. Yeah, then the second one came out in 2010. The third one came out in 2011. The fourth one came out in 2012. The fifth one came out in 2014, and the last one came out in 2015.
Yeah, they should have just stuck with the first one.
Yeah, that they should have. But yeah, that became a franchise, much like the Final Destination films, which it's just like, all right. You know what it was for me with those films? I was kind of done after the roller coaster and the race. 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I was kind of done after that, and I saw that one in theaters. That was the one that was the 3D one, and I'm like, oh boy, here comes a race car at me.
I hated that whole 3D phase where everything had to be in 3D and everything had these effects that were obviously made for 3D and then they look shit in 2D.
Okay, so the first 3D movie I remember going to see was Spy Kids 3D. That was the one with Sylvester Stallone in it. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, then mostly everything after that, what movies had to be 3D.
Yeah.
Avatar in 3D. This movie in 3D. Everything's in fucking 3D. I'd rather go watch the Dudleys do a 3D than watch a movie do a 3D.
And
3D.
The thing is, the effects weren't even that great, really.
It wasn't.
Like,
it's just...
I haven't really been impressed by 3D ever since it became a thing again. And I remember seeing a re-release of Titanic in 3D, and literally the only thing I noticed that was a 3D effect was the ropes holding the friggin' funnels to the side of the ship.
Yes,
That
that's
was
true.
it.
That's right. Well, you know what it is too with me in 3D. Also, with my condition, watching things in 3D is not very, very, very smart for this epileptic boy, if you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But I think as a child, like seeing all that good stuff. But yeah, I was kind of like, man. I know they did Jaws in 3D.
Yes. Oh my god.
See, that was even
Wow.
worse. Even worse.
This one of the worst scenes I've ever witnessed was when the shark breaks the glass underwater, and it's literally just like a cutout 2D shark floating across the screen, not even moving, just floating. And then it gets closer to the screen, and then this glass effect breaks inwards, and it's just horrible.
And not the good glass effect, like when
No,
Stone Cold the glass shatters.
no, it's literally something you could make on Windows Movie Maker.
Oh my god.
But yeah, 3D became a thing in the 80s with horror movies. Specifically, I think Friday the 13th #3.
Hmm.
I don't think Nightmare on Elm Street did one.
I don't recall. I don't believe that they did.
Halloween didn't do one either, but Friday the 13th definitely did one because I remember early on there's a scene where the crazy guy is found on the side of the road and he picks up an eyeball and just holds it right up to the camera.
All right, here are the movies that have been done in 3D. Avatar.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, the more modern ones.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Hobbit. Amazing Spider-Man. Spy Kids 3D. Game over. Yep. Jaws 3. Fuck yourselves. Also X. Friday the 13th Part 3. Yep.
Yeah, they also did an Amityville 3D, which I think I've seen the third one and it was terrible.
Amityville Horror.
Now, the first one was great, as was
It
the
was
remake with Ryan Reynolds, which doesn't get enough love.
All right. Now, you see, yeah, Amityville 3D, 1983. Good Lord. Yeah, as I'm seeing this. Here's the thing about the Amityville Horror. As a Long Island kid, yeah, how many times I passed that goddamn house?
Yeah, they changed the windows now, so it doesn't look like the Amityville house.
This is true. This is true. As someone who frequented the Olive Garden in Massapequa, because I like to say Massapequa, that's like not too far from where the Amityville Horror is, and we used to go past that house a lot as a kid.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved those windows.
Me too.
Now, I'm not sure which one is scarier when it comes to Amityville. I mean, I've seen that many horror films now. It's very rarely they really scare me, but I remember the 80s original being kind of darker than the remake, and the remake was just sort of weird. It was just Ryan Reynolds being a dick, mostly, because he was getting possessed. But the first one had this really... The scene where the priest goes into the house, and his flies just attack him in this one room, that when he tries to bless it, and then it goes really, really quiet, and then it's just this really loud voice telling him to get out. And then they kind of ruined it in the remake when it was just kind of a whisper. It was like, get out! No, it was scarier when the dude shouted it. Yeah, and then the priest also ended up going blind because he tried to bless the house.
Going blind after blessing the house.
Yeah, don't mess with the demons. Demon be gone.
I mean, we know of a demon that we should not mess with.
Yes,
if you know
we
what
definitely don't mess with that demon.
We don't mess with that demon.
I'm trying to think what was the first horror movie I ever saw. I don't know if you can count it as a horror movie, but I saw Jaws when I was 4, and I've watched it every year since. It's like one of my favourite movies of all time because I love sharks. And also have a shark tattoo. But yeah, I'm not going to class Jaws as a horror movie. It probably was when it first came out, but now it's more of like a thriller.
You know what I remember watching that really stuck out in my head? This wasn't really horror, but it has to do with vampires. Have you ever seen Love at First Bite with George Hamilton?
Possibly.
Okay, so for those who are not aware of it, Love at First Bite, it's actually like a comedy with a little horror in it because it's Dracula. George Hamilton plays Dracula. He's obliged to relocate and decides to go to New York City. He suffers all manner of adjustment problems, but he finds solace in a new relationship with a woman who has a fiance, and he's a direct descendant of Van Helsing. And it's very interesting to see because it's funny, it's comedic because it's like Dracula goes to New York City, but it has its cool effects in it, which I think a lot of people will enjoy. Love at First Bite, 1979, George Hamilton, baby.
Okay, you know what? I always thought if ever they make a movie about Vince McMahon, George Hamilton should play him.
I concur with that.
Hmm.
Also, that was the same year that Dracula came out with what was it, Frank Langella? Yeah,
Ooh, that's going back.
that's a great movie though. And then they did '92, and then I remember they did Dracula 2000. Well, Bram Stoker's Dracula was not bad, but when they did like
Yes.
Dracula 2000, I was like, no.
Yeah, the one with Gary Oldman was great. The only downside was Keanu Reeves' English accent
Hey
was
man,
just so.
it's weird.
It was so parody-ish. Winona Ryder did a great job.
Have you friggin' seen though Dracula 2000? Because I remember that one as a kid again, growing up in the '90s, and then 2000 comes Dracula 2000. Have you ever seen Dracula 2000?
I think I've got it. I'm not sure. Who's in it?
It's Omar Epps, Jerry Ryan, Gerard Butler, Jennifer Esposito, who was in I'm Going to Be a Master of Disguise. I'm going to be the Master of Disguise, is in it. she
Wait, yeah, I don't think I have actually.
it's one of those movies where it's just like it doesn't do it justice because like when you look at Dracula from like the 90s like we mentioned in the original Dracula, it's just meh. So what it's about is Dracula arrives in New Orleans, Louisiana, and seeks out Mary Heller, who's a descendant of Abraham Van Helsing.
Oh, okay.
It's okay, but it's not. It doesn't hold up to like the others that we've seen, and also just because of the fact it was also directed by, produced, excuse me, by Wes Craven.
Wow,
Yes.
that says it all.
Yeah. No disrespect
Uh,
intended, but
oh no,
yeah.
I love Wes Craven.
I love Wes
Actually,
Craven too, but he's had some movies that have been kind of meh.
now I think about it, I know it's more of a slasher than a horror, but I think Scream probably was the first horror movie I watched because it came out in 95, 96, something like that.
Hmm.
And I probably shouldn't have watched it, but I was like 7 or 8 when I did watch it.
Well, nice. I remember The Lost Boys, man. Like I remember watching that as a youngster because my mom loved that movie. So I was like probably when we first watched it on VHS, I was like 9,
Yeah.
and my mom while we watched that together. I also just remember. Okay, you see, you got to understand as a '90s kid, like the Halloween Towns that were on Disney Channel with Kimberly J. Brown and Debbie Reynolds. God rest her soul. Those are freaking great. When you get to like Halloween Town 4, when Kimberly J. Brown, who is known as playing Marnie, is not even in it, and it just fucking sucks. This was also the days of when Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire was on Disney with Caroline Rhea as the mother and Charles Shaughnessy as the vampire. And
That's pretty much the Lost Boys.
yes,
Mom's
and
got a date with a
Robert,
vampire. He's a blood-sucking vampire.
yes, and Robert Carradine from friggin' Revenge of the Nerds and Lizzie McGuire plays Van Helsing. Oh, it's a film. Daz, you have to see Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. It's cheesy, but it's not bad at all. And friggin' what's his face? Like I mentioned, Charles Shaughnessy's in it, Robert Carradine, but it's something. Matthew O'Leary's in it. That was the kid who was in Domestic Disturbance with John Travolta and Vince Vaughn. You ever seen Domestic Disturbance?
No.
You gotta watch it. It's friggin' Vince Vaughn playing serious, and it's weird. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't look at Vince Vaughn in a serious role just because I think of movies like Wedding Crashers, and I think of
Dodgeball.
everything. Dodgeball, yes. Anything. Yeah.
It's got a really bad reputation, but Vince Vaughn played Norman Bates in the remake of Psycho.
Psycho. That's the thing too, because I love the original Psycho so much,
Yes.
and this one I'm kind of like, meh.
Yeah, the original is one of my favorites too. The remake was just, I don't know. They tried to remake it like shot for shot. Literally every single frame was supposed to be identical to the original. But then they did that, but at the same time they changed a couple of stuff, and it's like, you can't do both. You got to do one or the other. Like,
Exactly.
one of the dumbest things they did was in the original, when Marion's sister and Sam decide to go and investigate the motel, Lila says, "Let me just get my coat," which, is normal. In the remake, she says, "Let me just get my Walkman." Wait, your sister's missing. You want to get your Walkman?
Yes.
What?
Now that you mentioned it, I remember that. Yes. Let me go get my Walkman. What?
Okay, we get it. It's modernized, but who the fuck put that in the script?
Some douchebag.
And that's the thing. It was the screenplay writer. He was the same person. He tried to, you know, write it again for the modern version. Joseph. Crap, what was his name?
Which one? With the guy with Psycho?
The screenplay writer. Yeah, it was Joseph Stefano. I think his name was.
Psycho 98, right? The one that came out in 98?
Yeah.
Joseph Stefano, yep.
Yeah. So yeah, they had the same screenplay writer as the original, but I don't know why the hell he put that line in it. Maybe the director told him to do it.
Put in the Walkman, damn it. The Walkman.
But yeah, Vince Vaughn played it very interestingly. He wasn't really as sinister. He was more kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. And it's weird to see Vince Vaughn creepy. It's like when I saw Jim Carrey in the number 23. I couldn't do it.
They also changed a little bit where he's watching Marion get changed through the hole in the original. In the remake, he actually starts fapping and you hear that.
Yes. I'm not doing the fapping noises. But
I don't want to watch Vince Vaughn fapping.
Fapping it with Vince Vaughn.
Oh boy. One of the first ones I do remember watching, I think I was about 10 or 11, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on a podcast before, is An American Werewolf in London.
Oh, yeah.
1981. Stars Griffin Dunn and David Norton, and of course, Jenny Agutter.
Mm-hmm.
The opening scene scarred me for a year or two because it was just so graphic. But, oh man. It's a horror comedy, really, but it's so gruesome. Obviously, very famous makeup artist by... Crap, I forgot who it was, but he is very famous. Is it Ray Barker? Rick Baker, of course. I think he won the Academy Award for it. Specifically the transformation scene. But yeah, the opening scene is just brutal, where the two friends get lost in the English moors, and of course it's midnight and they hear howling, so obviously they get attacked by a werewolf, and you literally just see one of them ripped open.
Wow. I think for me, again, this is way different than yours, Mr. I was scarred for a year or two over here. For me, like, growing up in the 90s, like, you had the Hocus Pocuses, which was, iconic.
Yeah.
You had Casper, which I do remember watching. There was a Casper Meets Wendy with a young Hilary Duff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all right. But yeah, no, just with Christina Ricci, excuse me, it was, that's one of the more iconic ones. But yeah, watching stuff like that. Remember Jonathan Lipnicki was in friggin' The Little Vampire? He goes from friggin' Stuart Little to The Little Vampire. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then he turns into a brick shithouse.
Yeah, that is true.
That dude looks jacked.
Oh.
Speaking of Casper... Go ahead.
Okay, my apologies. Yeah. You know the dude who plays the vampire in it? You know what movie he was in?
I'm trying to remember who played the vampire.
The guy that was like the original vampire. I don't believe it was the vampire hunter. I believe it was the guy that plays the vampire. Hold on. It's the one who plays the father vampire.
No memory who it was.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to look this up because here's where you're left. This is where the UK comes. Hold on. This is going to piss me off.
In The Littlest Vampire.
The Little Vampire, yep.
Yeah, I can't think. All I remember is Jonathan Lipnicki.
Oh, I believe it's Richard E. Grant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know him.
He was in Spice World with the Spice Girls. I believe he was their manager.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much all British rom-coms he's been in.
I got to give Spice World a mention in there because, well,
Pop
Spice World,
culture.
pop culture, baby. But it's one of those things where like those movies came out, and of course the Disney Channel movies. And for me, I remember seeing just a lot of those stuff because growing up with the Disney Channel and all that good stuff. But for me, yeah, Halloween, it's one of those things where I just have my memories of just after school. You know what I'm saying? Doing a lot of great stuff and pumpkins and just a lot of candy, which was very very nice. But just it's one of those things around the time when it comes to Halloween movies and the overall spooky factor about it. I just really enjoy it just because it's awesome. And I know this year with COVID, it's going to be a little different because well, assholes and assholes and the fact that it is what it is. And also around Halloween time, like we mentioned earlier with the Paranormal Activities coming out, I remember. Okay, so have you ever seen Unfriended?
No, I was working when it came out, but I didn't watch it.
All right, so it's pretty much, for those that don't know, it's this girl gets killed, winds up killing herself because of cyberbullying, and she gets her revenge by killing her friends over a Skype call. That's pretty much what the movie's about. Her ghost kills them all on the Skype call.
Fair enough.
And it's brutal the way that they get killed. So you have to see
Didn't
Unfriended.
they make a second one?
Yes, they did. And it's not as good as the first one.
Yeah, it's just been bugging me. Going back to Casper, they did a third one that was a prequel.
So the other film in that series was Casper, Spirited Beginning.
Yes, that's it. Can't remember who was in it though. I remember it was a boy this time, and I was always confused as a kid because it came out after the first one and after Casper Meets Wendy, but it was going back to the beginning. And I think at that time I didn't know what a prequel was.
So Rodney Dangerfield's in it, Michael McKean, Lori Loughlin from Full House, Steve Guttenberg, Brendan Ryan Barrett, and the voices in here we got Bill Farmer, Jim Ward, James Earl Jones, Pauly Shore.
James Earl Jones. Oh, was he the big boss guy?
Yes,
Of course.
of course. Yeah, no, that was that. And I also, what I do remember as a kid, by the way, as we're talking about now. So, one of the other cult classics from the '90s that really stuck out for horror, if you will, the I Know What You Did Last Summer series, which the first one was, yeah. The second one, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, was, but yeah, the first one with Jennifer Love Hewitt, and also just because it's Jennifer Love Hewitt, woo! So, hey.
And very similar to that as well, there was one with a young Jared Leto called Urban Legends.
Yes, that was a good one.
I remember seeing it, but I don't remember what happened in it.
I also remember seeing, this is another Disney one, Under Wraps, where there's like a mummy in it. Do you remember Under Wraps?
No, I probably didn't watch that many Disney horror movies.
Hey, man, it's something that's very interesting because it's iconic for like Disney, like Halloween-esque movies around the time. But yeah, Under Wraps is definitely one that I would definitely check out.
All right.
Oh, they also had Phantom of the Megaplex with what's his face was in that movie. The kid that was in. All right, you've seen Jack Frost, right, with Michael Keaton and Kelly Preston.
Oh yes.
The spiky-haired douchebag that comes into contact with the kid. He's in it. He plays the main character, and they have to save the Megaplex because the manager, who we find out is doing it, is pretty much sabotaging the premiere of the friggin' with the Phantom of the Megaplex, and it's interesting. Asshole, but yes, no, yeah, he's in it. Mickey Rooney's in it. God rest his soul.
Oh wow.
He plays Movie Mason. You gotta take a look at it. Hooray for Eddie sings "Hooray for Hollywood." Hooray for Hollywood.
Yeah, the obvious horror ones are, of course, one that we've already mentioned on the show, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th. There's one part of the Halloween series that stands out, which is, of course, the third one, and it gets a lot of hate because it has nothing to do with the rest of the series. It's not about Michael Myers, it's just a completely standalone movie. And the reason being, the first two were supposed to be about Michael Myers, and then they were going to do like an anthology series for Halloween, so they were going to tell a different story. But people hated it because there was no Michael Myers. They wanted Michael Myers back, so obviously he came back for Halloween 4, and then that became the rest of the series. But Halloween 3 stands on its own with its own story, and it's actually it's not that bad. I know Evan McCable loves it. It's like one of his favorite movies, and he always promotes it every Halloween. It stars, of course, the greatest mustached actor of all time, Tom Atkins.
All right. Now, so I got to mention this because as a kid, like, did you? It's not one of my favorite Halloweens, but did you see Halloween Resurrection?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
And I wish
See,
I didn't.
here's who's in it though with this cast: Busta effing Rhymes.
Yes.
Put your
Hey,
hands where my
Mikey,
eyes
happy
can see.
fucking Halloween.
Yes. Thomas Ian Nicholas, Rookie of the Year, Henry Rowan Gardner, and American Pie. Ryan Merriman, who was in a lot of Disney movies such as Smart House and The Luck of the Irish. Sean Patrick Thomas, who was in Save the Last Dance with Julia Stiles. Tyra Effin Banks, and Jamie Lee Curtis, of course.
Yeah.
But
Thankfully, with the last Halloween, they erased all the sequels. I mean, some of them were good, but obviously they erased Laurie's death in Halloween Resurrection, which was so stupid.
dumb as fuck. Now, I also have seen the Rob Zombie Halloweens. Now, it does get a lot of flack and hate. I mean, I've seen them. I'm like, meh. I mean, I don't hate him as a lot of other people do, but yeah, it's one of those ones I'm just like, get.
I think I've always been in two minds about him. Like, I didn't like how obviously it became a redneck story with Rob Zombie.
Redneck story.
I mean,
Yes.
it did. There was way too much backstory. Like, I don't need to know that much about little long-haired Michael. But I've given it a couple of chances and I kind of enjoy it now. But the second one is trash.
It sucks. You know what the only good thing about it is, man? Danielle Harris. And you know why? Because I love me some Danielle Harris.
Yes, and of course she is a Halloween icon.
Absolutely.
From her younger days.
You know what it is for me too? One of the first things I ever saw of her was, again, it goes back to Disney. She was in an episode of Boy Meets World. Mm-hmm. She was Harley Kinder's sister. And also she was in Wish Upon a Star with a young Katherine Heigl.
Ooh. She's also in another Halloween, her horror series called Hatchet.
Oh, yes, I've heard of
Hatchet.
Hatchet.
Low budget. I think the first one, the male lead, is the guy that played the nerdy one in Dodgeball.
Oh, Justin Long?
No, not Justin Long, the other one.
The guy that was the robot in freaking Grandma's Boy?
The one that fell in love with the Russian girl.
Yeah, Owen.
Owen, yeah. Yeah, he was the male lead in it.
Okay, wait a minute. You've never seen Grandma's Boy, though?
I can't say I've heard of it.
It's with, oh my god, freaking what's-her-face is in it? Doris Roberts from Everybody Loves Raymond?
Oh, yeah.
And the dude that's played in Island Covert, one of those guys that was in a lot of the Adam Sandler movies. Which, by the way, I have not seen the goddamn Halloween film with Adam Sandler that's on Netflix. I couldn't do it.
I do want to watch it, though. I'm saving it for Halloween.
Okay, but I haven't seen it. You know what it is, too, man? Because when's the last time that Adam Sandler made a good movie?
Well, he made Uncut Gems, which I haven't seen yet, but he got a lot of praise for it.
Okay.
Apart from that, I would say Grown Ups.
That's true. Okay, so Joel David Moore is the dude's name.
Yes, okay.
Also, I will say this. You know what other movies I have seen? I've seen the remake of them, and just because they're also hard classic. Have you ever seen the I Spit on Your Grave movies?
Oh, God, yeah.
First and foremost, it hurts, and I'll tell you why it hurts, literally and figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of genitalia removement in those movies.
Uh-huh.
I hear you squirming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, they're bad.
Gives Lorena Bobbitt makes Lorena Bobbitt look tame, for God's sake. She chucks her husband's penis into the field. That's horrible, but this is just way worse.
I mean, she's justified in the movie, absolutely, but it's still painful to watch.
Yeah, man. Our area, man. Genitalia's gone.
Yeah, like I can't watch the end of Hostel 2 because they literally get cut off with a pair of scissors and then fed to dogs. It's sure.
Ugh. You gotta protect the area, man.
Yeah, I Spit in Your Grave 3 was on the Horror Channel recently. I don't know if it was over there, but it was in the UK. And it's just a brutal scene where a dude gets a pipe hammered up his ass.
Oh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Or besides hammers going up the ass, I'll try to change the lightheartedness. See?
Yeah. Do not,
Okay.
if you're going to watch I Spit in Your Grave, people, I suggest you don't eat beforehand.
Yeah, don't eat before you watch those movies. So I also remember from a comedy aspect as a kid. Remember not Jack Frost, the Christmas movie that we talked about, but the horror
Yeah.
movies, the one that had like the Attack of the Killer Snowman and the Attack of the Mutant Killer Snowman. I have seen the sequel, which is actually the whole sequel is on YouTube. Oh my god, stupid as fuck, but it's so bad that it's good because it's a snowman on a fucking tropical island, as you leave. Have you ever seen these movies?
No, I've heard of them.
They've got killer snow babies, like little snowballs going after people. It is just, oh, it's dumb as physic. But it just, you can't look away because I just can't believe it. Because I remember as a kid, I think out of all the friggin' channels it was on was like TNN before it was Spike TV here in the States at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I'm like, this is not the Jack Frost that I remember. And then I go friggin' a couple of minutes into it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I didn't say that as a kid, but I'm like, what is this? And I'm just like, there's deaths, friggin' with icicles, and friggin' they killed this model on the beach. They take this dude's boat. He's going after him because it's a sequel from the first one, and they all think he's nuts as the cop because, killer snowman. And I'm just like, all right the fuck on. It's cheesy as hell, but hey.
Suddenly I want to see Michael Keaton in a car accident again.
Me too. Oh, whoa. It's not that Michael Keaton's not in this, but yeah, suddenly that's exactly what it's like. It's like, man, after watching this, I'd rather just go see Michael Keaton get in a car accident.
Yeah.
You're right.
Another prominent one from the 80s was The Thing with Kurt Russell. Just amazing. But again, a sequel to that gets a lot of hate, and I don't think it's deserved. Because I think a lot of people thought it was a remake, and then it turned out to be a prequel. Because it has pretty much the same storyline and it's got the same title. It's just The Thing. But the prequel stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Nice.
And I think everybody else is like Dutch or Russian or Norwegian or whatever.
They speak
Norwegian.
freaky.
Yeah, I think they're Norwegian.
Do they speak freaky deaky Dutch?
They speak freaky deaky Dutch. No, they speak Norwegian. And that was probably the worst Norwegian accent ever. The original is timeless, and it has a great cliffhanger ending where you're not sure which of the two survivors is infected, and there's a lot of theories about it. But what I like about the second one is the prequel is it finishes exactly where the original begins, with the dog running across to the other station and then getting followed in a helicopter, and it changes your perspective of the first one, because in the original you just see this dog running across and then there's a helicopter following it and there's a guy trying to shoot the dog and you think they're assholes. But then when you watch the prequel, you understand why they're trying to shoot the dog, because they think the dog's infected.
Yes.
Or the dog is infected.
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in Celebrity Deathmatch when The Undertaker tombstone Little Nicky because Little Nicky had the demon possessed. Sometimes you got to tombstone a little kid.
Wait, are we talking Little Nicky, Adam Sandler?
Not Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Nick Jr., man. Little Nicky Jr. from Celebrity Deathmatch. Remember he had a kid?
I only ever remember, like, Linda Hamilton and Stone Cold on Celebrity Deathmatch.
They did a Halloween version, and a demon possessed Nick Jr., Nick Diamond's kid, and The Undertaker was on Celebrity Deathmatch, and he tombstoned a little 10-year-old kid who had friggin' the demon possessed in him. So he pretty much, it's The Undertaker beating up a little kid with a demon possessed in him.
Fair enough.
Hey.
Oh.
Well, hold on. Also, in the mid-2000s, don't mean to cut you off, we also had The Ring
Yes.
and The Grudge, which were very popular.
Yes, both, of course, remakes from Japanese horror films.
Mm-hmm.
The general consensus seems to be that the Japanese originals are always better. It's just you have to be willing to watch them either dubbed or with subtitles.
And I love me some Japanese.
Yeah. Battle Royale, classic.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned Psycho. Have you ever seen the sequels?
So, like, I've seen the Vince Vaughn remake and the original. That's about it.
Oh yeah, they made 3 sequels to the original, all with Anthony Perkins reprising his role.
Good? Were they good?
The second one was good. and it's got a lot of twists in it that you're not quite sure what's going on until the end. The third one was more ridiculous because you know that he's killing people, and they don't try and hide it. And then the fourth one is just weird because it's kind of like Norman Bates is calling into this radio station and he's talking about his whole life, so it's got flashbacks and everything. And what's her name? Olivia Hut.
Hot.
What's her name? It's Olivia something. Hutter, I think. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, she was in the original It.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't.
Jeez. Yeah, I can't. Olivia Hussey.
Yes.
Plays Mrs. Bates in the fourth one. And the fourth one's just weird because obviously it goes into how close their relationship was. And yeah.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on a second. Olivia Hussey was friggin' Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
And you know what else she was in?
I think
she was in Boy Meets World. She was Topanga's aunt in Boy Meets World. Travis will appreciate that. Boy Meets World. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and she was the one that got friggin' possessed at the gas station at the clown, right? Remember she was coming into town?
No.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
She's coming into town and she looks right into his eyes and just friggin' she goes to sleep.
Yeah, of course, because she was Beverly.
Yes.
The funny as well, her daughter India Isley is in a lot of horror movies or slashers, really. But yeah,
you know which ones we're
making a name for herself.
You know which ones we're forgetting? Like the Dawn of the Deads and Shaun of the Deads also rank up there.
Yeah, Romero zombie flicks are up there, of course. I don't think Dawn of the Dead remake gets enough love either because people have too much attachment to the original.
Okay. Like, for me, and I've talked about this with my main man, Daniel Crimmins, our buddy, friggin' Freddy vs. Jason. Were you a fan of that movie?
I was, but I thought of it more as an action movie than a horror or slasher movie because it was literally just two undead demons trying to kill each other.
I remember seeing it. I was just kind of like, meh. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest. It doesn't come up to the comparison of Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, but I'm just like, okay, whatever.
It didn't do any justice for... what's her name?
It's been a while, man. So, which one?
I don't remember anybody's name.
Which girl?
She was in See No Evil 2.
This is friggin' 2003 here, Dazzy Dangerously.
Yeah.
See No... What? Oh, did you say See No Evil 2?
Yeah, she's been in a lot of horror movies.
The Kane movie, See No Evil 2?
Yeah. It's
all right, I've seen it.
Catherine Isabel.
Oh, okay.
She's a scream queen. She's in many horror movies, of course. Ginger Snaps as well. Which, do you know what? I was actually going to mention that in the last episode as a coming-of-age movie because it literally coming-of-age. Like, they use turning into a werewolf as a metaphor for getting periods.
Oh. Oh! She was in Bones. You remember who was in Bones?
David Thingy, that I can never pronounce his name. Barenias.
No, not that one. I'm talking about the one that was with Snoop Dogg and Pam Grier that came out in 2001. She was in that one.
Oh, okay.
You've never seen the one where Snoop Dogg friggin' dies and then he comes back from the grave and kills everybody? You've never seen that?
No, and it sounds like I don't want to.
All right. It's bad, but it's one of those ones where it's you know what it is? As it's titled here, it's a blaxploitation film. All right. Have you ever seen Blackula?
No. Is that a spoof?
No.
It sounds like a spoof.
There's Blackula and Scream, Blackula, Scream. So, yes, it's like the African-American Dracula, but it's a blaxploitation film like that. And Pam Grier was in a lot of these. You know what I'm saying? Pam Grier was in that one, and not Pam Grier, Fox and Cleopatra Pam Grier, but Pam Grier 2001. This was after she was getting it on with Will Smith in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So you know what I'm saying.
Catherine Isabel was also in a low-budget B-movie a few years ago called American Mary.
Okay.
Have you heard of that one?
I have not.
I watched it, and then CM Punk tweeted about it. And I thought, oh, cool, somebody famous has heard of it. So she plays a medical student trying to become a surgeon, and she finds a kind of a backstreet job, getting paid a lot of money to do outrageous body modifications. And I'm talking like really outrageous. Like there's the one girl who wants to turn literally into a Barbie doll, and wants her genitalia sewn up and her nipples removed and everything, and it's just weird. Then there's like identical twins who want to be sewn together. Yeah.
That's not weird at all.
It's weird.
Did you see that guy's balls? They were weird looking. Well, hold on. I also mentioned that you said Backstreet, man. It's one of the, besides Thriller in the 80s, the 90s, we had Backstreet's Back. All right, Halloween type reference because they're all mummies and shit in the music video. And you know I got to bring it up because it's me.
Yeah.
Well, you see, you're just going to hear that, but you know what I'm talking about, man. And you know in a way you'll start humming it, and then you'll get mad at me because, God damn it.
I ain't doing no Backstreet Boys.
Hey, man, there was the Slash Street Boys. We got the Slash Street Boys now.
Another yeah, I'm just
move on. I love you, man.
Another underrated, I think it was 80s. No, actually, it was mid 90s. Horror movie series is Wishmaster, which is about an evil genie who literally makes people's wishes come true. Like there's a scene. Well, he needs somebody to make 3 wishes to release him. But of course, he takes him literally into horrible effects. Like there's a tramp outside of a drugstore who gets into a fight with the owner, and he says, "I wish you had cancer," or something like that. And the genie just goes, "Your wish is my command," and the guy just turns really, really old and skinny and dies.
I don't read the laugh.
But it gets worse, because in the second one, I'm not going to tell you what happens. I'm just going to say some guy wishes that his boss would go fuck himself.
Oh, no.
And you can imagine how that goes.
I wish you had cancer and got me, but that's even worse.
Yeah, the visuals are so graphic and gruesome. Yeah. If you've never heard of it, I would. There's some parts you're probably gonna laugh at because it's so ridiculous, but it's also so gruesome.
I'm already laughing.
All right. I guess we should probably wrap this up. Obviously, there's no 5 movies or less in this episode because we've just been having a loose conversation about horror movies.
Yep.
We are going to spin the wheel at the end of the show, but I've got to find it first because the link has disappeared, so I'll add it to the end of the show and we'll find out what the topic will be for the next episode. So thank you very much for joining us for this Halloween special. Hopefully we've given you a few Halloween gems to check out for this frightful Saturday night. And with that being said, you have been watching / listening to the Captain and Mike Larkin. Thank you for netpicking and chilling with us. Don't forget to follow us on social media. There is no account for this show, but you can follow Four Corner Union on Twitter, along with Max Wrestling UK for our main show, which is of course the Max Wrestling Podcast. I'm also living life on Twitter at DazzyBrand and the Captain 512. And Mike, give him your monologue.
SM Show 1, MCL 92, pop_culture_pod, at Impact Rewind. All those Twitters are me. So you get a little wrestling and pop culture in there as well. StephenMikeShow.com, SoundCloud.com/MCLarkin92, WrestlingWithWrestling.com, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships, Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are. Max Wrestling Podcast, Max Wrestling Podcast with myself, Dazzy Dangerously, Moses Marquez, Travis the Walker Anderson. We are the Max Wrestling 4 Horsemen. And also, you can check me out, my main man, Dazzy Dangerously, on the Netpicks pod. Yep.
All right, and we'll end the show with the Real Fortune. So we will see you next time, and here is next episode's topic.